Hi guys, my name is Fluke and this is my channel, the F&IT Guy. And today we're going to talk about event ID 4776. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly jump in directly into dev environment I created and just quickly show you what event ID 4776 is. So let's quickly open there, and there you can see I generated one event 4776, and this is an audit failure event. Now basically if you open it up, it gives you some information about some attempt being authenticated to this machine, and as you can see this is coming from a Microsoft authentication package v10. So this doesn't give you much information, and you might be getting this against your AD at a continuous base, but depending on what your issue is, either brute force or being locked out or something like that. So what I want to do is I want to quickly show you why this is happening and how I figured out where to go and look for these files. So this is happening because obviously something is authenticated against your machine, but it's happening because it's authenticating via another machine to the AD, and the AD has got a local policy enabled on it. So let me show you an example. If you go into your local policies, you're going to go under local policies, audit policy, you're going to see something that says audit account login events. Now you're going to see there it says no auditing. Okay, so auditing is off. If I refresh here, there's all my logs, so let's clear that so that we've actually got clean logs while we're authenticating. Okay, so there everything's clean. I'm going to bring up before I bring up anything, let me quickly show you this machine. There you can see the host name, that's the machine host name. It's a South African machine based in Joburg. It's an AD created for test environment, and I've given it a simple IP of 172.168.1.10. That's all it is. Got AD on it, running beautifully. Okay, now what I'm going to do is let me bring up my command prompt from my machine. So my machine can see all of these machines, and I'm going to use my machine as authenticating against a file server I created. So bring that over. There you go, and there you can see my machine. So got my AD, got my file server, and I'm going to run a command against my file server. So there we go. Simple command, just there's a share on the file server called software. The domain users and domain admins got access to it, nobody else allowed access to it. Now I'm coming from outside on my non-domain joint machine, authenticating against that machine and trying a random username and password. So as you can see there, very simple username and password, just authenticating. Nothing's happening yet. Let's quickly jump onto the AD. Okay, on the AD, as you can see, let's quickly jump in there. F5. There is no weird login events. There's where I cleared it. No weird login events. Everything looks beautiful, but it isn't beautiful because obviously there is events happening and I'm not seeing it. And this is where you probably are now. This is why I'm looking into this, because you get an event 4006. So what we're going to do, similar thing. We're just going to go in there. Again, local policies, audit policies, audit account login events, double click that and just enable success and failure. That's it, nothing else. You can minimize this, clear the logs, and you can see F5, everything's nice and clean. Let's quickly jump back into my local machines command prompt. Let's bring that over, and there you go. So what I'm going to do, run the same command, no difference, enter, no password, enter. Happiness, it's failing. Okay, let's jump back onto the AD. There we go, back on the AD. Let's refresh this. That's beautiful now because you're trying to show something, it's not generating it. Let's quickly try that again because I know it works. Okay, bring that over. Let's just maybe try take the username away. 172.168.1.11 software user. Okay, authenticate. That. Okay, it's gonna fail, and I'm gonna sort of do a second one just without the dot backslash enter just to generate data. Okay, let's jump back onto the AD. refresh, there you go. there we've got our footage logs that we're looking for. So again, we're going to open it up. There you can see there's an attempt. That's the username I've tried, and it's even cutting off part of the username. Obviously I've used something way too long. The source workstation, there you can say the FN workstat, which is not right, it's the FN workstation, and it gives you an error code. So the error code, depending on what the error code is, either says your username is wrong, password wrong, account's locked out, something like that. Go look at my blog, I actually pasted it on there, it's easy to find what each log means. And as long as the username and password's wrong, happiness, but that's what it's down there. Let's quickly look at the second one. You can see same thing both times. I validated against it and it's failing. And again, all of them is coming from the same package. Like, there we go. It's coming from a micro authentication package version 1.0. Don't have a clue what it is. Beyond my scope. So what we need to do is to actually figure out where this is coming from. We need to enable something additional on the AD. Now that additional stuff we're going to enable is the additional log file, and that log file will give us more information going forward for any authentication events. Okay, so what we'll do is let's open a command prompt in admin. Here you can see the command prompt in admin. I'll quickly bring it to center, and you're going to run the following command. I'm going to just highlight it there for you. nltest /dbflag : and that flag in there. Now I'll put that flag in the blog. You can go and take it from the blog and just paste it in there, or you can just pause and write it in. It's a very short flag. Okay? Enter. Successfully changed. Now from here what we're going to open up is the Windows directory debug. So there we go, Windows directory debug, and in there you're going to see a net logon file. So let's double click that net logon file. There you can see opening with notepad++. I'm just going to open a monitor on it, so it's going to give us information as it's been written. Okay, let's bring forward my command prompts again. There we go. And I'll put it in such a way like there, so that we can see as it happens. Yeah, so it's same command, enter. There you can see just a bunch of stuff started happening. Okay, get the command prompt out of the way. Happiness. Okay, and now when the file server authenticates against my ID, this actually generates additional information for me, not just that weird non-descriptive log files. Okay. Now, if you look through this log, let's quickly see where we can find it. It should be at the bottom somewhere. It does state where it's been authenticated from. There we go. There's the one I was looking for. There's a bunch of them in there, but this is what I'm looking for. Network log on from which workstation and the user name. Again, from which workstation. So I presume it's domain username like normal, and then what the workstation name is. And this is what we're looking for via that server. So that's another server, that's the file server that's actually set up, and we'll jump into that file server just now. So, but now that's telling us, look, it's coming from there. Now that we have that information, go back into your command prompt, just disable the log file, because it will start growing depending on your amount of users. It will just go and go and go the whole time. The only reason it's small at this stage, it's a single login event I'm trying to show. So you go into admin again on command prompt, just go and run the same command, nltest /dbflag : 0x0, and this will then turn off logging. Okay, I need it for it. Okay, so let's get onto that file server. Just quickly throw something in there. There we go. So that should give us the file server. There we go. I can see it as well. Now on this file server, you don't need to do the same because we know it's being authenticated via this server. If you open this server and look at its log file, so as you can see I cleared it earlier, let's just refresh it quickly. There's the logs that we generated, and if you open it now, there you go. Account name, domain, the FN workstation, or FN workstat in this case. So that's basically just domain / username, and the computer workstation. Still, it doesn't mean much for us, but now this gives us an IP address. This is coming from which IP, and in this case, this is my IP address for my machine that I'm actually RDPing into each server to be able to show you what's happening here. In the live environment case, where we're doing this from, or which I found this on, it was coming from an external source, so it was showing my firewall as a IP address. It wasn't showing the IP address past that, and I had to go onto the firewall and figure out why this is happening. So it was actually very simple. We've got an application that's being locally authenticated via the AD, and a certain port had to be opened for that authentication to take place, and there we go. Somebody found it, with all these hackers these days, they found it, and they just tried to brute force their way into that application. Obviously, using the wrong details and stuff, which is very lucky for us because we don't use simplistic password or simplistic usernames or those kind of stuff. We do have a set standard on certain stuff getting through, so they authenticated with the wrong details the whole time, and we could actually go and mitigate it and figure other ways around it. But that is how you would then find where this traffic is being generated from. Now, the bulk of the time when I look at this, it's because people use old machines with old passwords on, and it just locks them out every time. It's also a scenario. I think every scenario is a bit unique depending on where you are and what your situation is, but I'm hoping that just showing you how to backtrack into where this is coming from will help you out and save you hours that I didn't know how to do this. I had to go and Google, see how other people did it, until you finally find that one blog that shows you quickly how to do it. Now, so obviously I've done this as well on my blog. Go and have a look at it. It shows you exactly what I'm showing you, just with other examples. But yeah, this will help you find where your traffic is coming from. So that being said, is if this was helpful to you and this does make your life easier and you found everything in there descriptive enough, press subscribe, press like, share it. Any traffic to this specific link or the blog or anything like that is appreciated. Thank you.